You ever see a judge wave a binder in the air like he's about to read you the specials at Applebee's and know it's over before anyone says a word? That's exactly how my morning started. Bailiff barely got out. All rise when the judge, a guy who looked like he was allergic to nonsense, held up the HOA's glossy three-ring circus of a binder and said, "Counsel, why are you suing a man who, per your own exhibit, doesn't live inside your subdivision? I swear you could feel the oxygen leave the plaintiff's side of the room." The gallery, packed with neighbors who'd all called in sick to work just to watch, started snickering like a bunch of teenagers who'd just watched the teacher fall off a chair. I took a slow sip from my favorite mug, white ceramic, bold black letters, "Not your member." And let me tell you that coffee tasted like justice. Across the aisle, Corin Ashby, president for life of the Maple Quarry Meadows HOA, was whispering to her lawyer with the desperation of someone Googling how to be a real organization on their phone under the table. One second, she's got that power suit alpha dog energy. Next, she looks like a kid who just got caught copying her book report straight off Wikipedia. I'd been waiting for this day so long, I'd started making a little highlight reel in my head. See, I'm Evan Drake. I'm not flashy. I write technical manuals for a living, which means I live and die by the details. When I bought my ranch house on the curve of Huckleberry Lane, I did the homework, walked the property line with the survey map, cross-checked the plat records, even called the county clerk just to make sure. Lot 12B outside the plat for Maple Quarry Meadows. No dues, no meetings, no bossy neighbors with clipboards and opinions about grass length. I wanted the kind of weekends where you mow the lawn when you feel like it, not because it's your turn to be voluntold at a folding chair meeting where folks argue about which shade of beige counts as earth tone. Just peace, privacy, and the freedom to paint my door ocean blue if I felt like it. That all changed when Corin Ashby came for me. If you've never met a career HOA president, just imagine the energy of a substitute teacher who genuinely enjoys handing out detentions, helmet hair sculpted by sheer willpower, pearl whistle around her neck like a badge. She'd run the HOA for 6 years, long enough to start thinking of herself as a mayor, or maybe the benevolent dictator of her own tiny country. But attendance at her monthly meetings was so bad she couldn't make quorum 3 months running, so she decided to get creative by, redrawing the boundaries. Suddenly the HOA was a living document as fluid as her mood. And surprise, I was now in the community. First came the welcome to the neighborhood notes in my mailbox. Annual dues, $780 plus $35 a day late fee. I nearly choked on my coffee. Checked the deed, nope, still not in the HOA. So I called the number on the letter and Corin herself picked up. "Put on that we're all in this together," voice said. "Good neighbors contribute their fair share, Evan." I told her politely to check the county records. She just laughed all sing-songy and said, "Well, you do benefit from our aesthetic standards, don't you? Sense of community, property values, all that." I just told her if the spirit of Maple Quarry was so important, maybe it could pay my mortgage too. That's when things got spicy. Suddenly I was getting official letters accusing me of undermining neighborhood unity on letterhead. She'd clearly made herself think ransom note meets Microsoft Publisher. She taped a lien notice to my front door with a glittery house sticker, "Trespass to measure my mailbox," with a tape measure loudly announced to anyone within earshot that my mailbox wasn't regulation curvature, and snapped pictures through my hedge for her evidence folder. Next thing I know, she's telling folks at the community pool I'm a freeloader riding the coattails of their hard work. It didn't stop there. She started hosting Know Your Obligation seminars 2 streets over, complete with flyers decorated with clip art handcuffs. Suddenly I was getting special assessment invoices for landscaping, security patrols, even newsletter printing. I saved every last one just for fun. One Saturday, fed up, I marched over to her house deed and plat map in hand. She barely glanced at it, just smiled, arms crossed, and said, "The spirit of Maple Quarry includes you, Evan. Sometimes the legal boundaries just don't match the social reality." I said, "We'll tell the spirit to pay my taxes," and walked away. But you know me, I'm a technical writer. I like documentation. I went to the county courthouse, dug through public records, and what I found, absolute gold. The Maple Quarry Meadows Association administratively dissolved 5 years ago. Missed 3 years of filing, so the state shut it down. Their covenants and restrictions had expired under the Marketable Title Act the year before, and were never renewed. Oh, and those liens Corin kept taping to my door. She downloaded the template off some random HOA management form. No lawyer, no legal language half the time. Not even the right property description. She was basically playing legal Mad Libs. So I sent her a certified cease and desist. I opened a folder on my desktop called Corin's Greatest Hits and filed every letter, invoice, and flyer by date. That's when she made her biggest mistake. She sued me. Demanded $3,200 in back dues, penalties, and interest. She calculated herself like she was running a loan shark operation out of her living room. I almost wanted to thank her. She handed me a golden opportunity. Enter my secret weapon. My neighbor Frank, retired prosecutor who spent 30 years making people like Corin regret ever finding a gavel on eBay. We filed a counterclaim slander of title, civil extortion, anti-slap motion for frivolous litigation. I CC'd the State Attorney General's office, and the County Consumer Fraud Division figured why not let everyone join the party. Discovery was a gold mine. Their membership list included houses from 3 different neighborhoods and a vacant lot labeled Future Gazebo Donor. Meeting minutes showed elections won by show of vibe. No, seriously. Corin claimed she could feel the community's energy backing her. Financials. Administrative stipends paid every month to Ashby Neighborhood Services, LLC, her own shell company. $600 a month straight from the dues she was collecting. Craft stores, office supply, hauls a $400 laminator, all billed as community improvement. Their lawyer tried to send a stern letter to resolve the matter amicably, probably realized halfway through he was representing the HOA equivalent of a lemonade stand. Frank replied with 47 pages of exhibits labeled A through filibuster just for laughs. Court day came. The judge's eyebrows crept higher with every page. Fake liens, lapsed corporate filings, vibe-based elections. Then the judge asked the killer question. Who drafted these liens? Corin's hand shoots up like she's proud to be called on in class. Judge says, Miss Ashby, you're not an attorney, are you? Corin chest out, I'm a leader. I've managed this community for 6 years. Her lawyer just put his head in his hands. Then came the hammer. Court found the HOA had no legal standing. It wasn't even an entity anymore. No valid covenants on my lot or anyone else's. Dues claim dismissed as baseless, my anti-slap granted with full attorney's fees. But the best? The judge referred the case to the Attorney General for unlicensed law practice, charitable fraud, and recording false instruments, all felonies around here. He ordered the HOA dissolved until and unless it re-registered and did everything by the book. The process server went straight to Corin's garage. Yes, the HOA office was a folding table in her garage. Tagged the table, unplugged the overworked laminator, and seized her $20 stamp she'd been using as a corporate seal. End of the day, I walked out $14,000 richer in attorney's fees, plus $8,000 for slander of title, and a court-ordered retraction filed with the county. Every lien she'd ever tried to stick to Lot 12B was officially null and void. But the look on Corin's face when the judge said she was personally liable for repaying every dime she'd illegally collected from 43 other families over 6 years, that was priceless. Over 60 grand money she didn't have. Her lawyer just stood up and left. Corin turned, saw the gallery full of her neighbors, half of them filming, some grinning. For the first time since she'd started this little crusade, Corin Ashby had nothing to say. So now every time I mow my lawn whenever I want and whatever color shorts I please, I give a little wave to the neighbors, some of whom have started dropping by for coffee, just to chat and laugh about the Maple Quarry spirit. Makes you wonder, doesn't it, how many little dictators are out there just waiting for someone to say, not today. So what do you think was justice served? Or should communities have the right to define their own boundaries, no matter what the law says? Let me know in the comments below, especially if you've ever tangled with a wannabe HOA tyrant yourself. And hey, don't forget to share your own story, hit like and subscribe for more tales of American justice, neighbor style.